Alright. Ooh, this light makes it look like I'm being interrogated. Jesus Christ. Alright, lower that down a bit. Yeah, so it took me a while, about like almost a month, and finally got a chance to go see Straight Outta Compton. So obviously I'm in my little studio space with my dress form falling apart here. If you want to know what the inside of me looks like. Anyway, it's my friend's cyborg costume, that aside. But yeah, Straight Outta Compton. Very good movie. I very much enjoyed it, mainly because, like, you got, who doesn't fucking love NWA, Like, fucking grew up on that shit. Like, especially for a movie biopic thing, they did really well. Like, having these, like, unknown... Sorry, what the fuck's going on outside? Having these unknown, actors playing these well-known, rappers was a really good choice. Like, the fuck even though he still had to audition for it, having Ice Cube's son play him was great, obviously. Because I remember when I first saw the trailer, I was like, yo, where did they find someone who looks like Ice Cube? Like, he has a very distinct, like, face, features, and all that stuff. I'm like, how did they find... And then they were like, he was, like, Ice Cube was on Jimmy Kimmel, he's like, yeah, that's my son. I was like, oh, well, obviously, like, when you have the Ice Cube DNA. I remember Paul mentioned that he kind of wished that, like, they kind of drew in the moles that Ice Cube has. It was... Paul said something like, once you see the moles, like, you're about to get fucked up or something like that. But it was great. Like, the guy who played Eazy-E definitely had, like, his essence in there. And then, it was great because, like, the guys who played him, like, the guy who played Dre, I love that they constantly had him in, like, the baseball cap because, now, like, you don't really see him with it on. But, yeah, I remember, in, like, no, bleh, in the early 90s, like, yeah, they always had their caps on and all that stuff. Like, I thought that was great, and showing, like showing their struggle of obviously, like, growing up in Compton, and the part, like, I didn't know about this, like, being in, like, the school bus, and, like, a car just, like, cuts them off, and these guys get out of the car, and they hold a gun to these young kids because they're, because I think that those are Bloods, and the guy was just like, what's up, cuz? Like, trying to do, like, Crip, and it's like, you don't do... The guy was like, dude, I was just joking. I'm like, no, you don't... That's not something you joke about. It really... No. Like, it seems kind of like, what do I know about that stuff? Which sounds kind of, like, weird for me to be like, I grew up in the hood. It's like, I did, I did. I just live in, like, suburbia now. Like, we kind of upgraded a bit on that stuff. But even then, when I was in, like, high school, and all, even obviously previously from that, but, like, high school, there's more gang activity, that stuff is more prevalent. There's, like, every type of gang was out there, and so much that at school there's constantly, like, freaking assemblies about, like, don't join gangs. It's like, they're not gonna listen to you. They don't give a fuck. If they're gonna join a gang, they're gonna join one, whether you say so or not, Although there was, like, one freaking, like, assembly whatever thing, which was kind of like, it was this guy who's, who's kind of cool. Oh, he sits on his chair backwards just like us, like what they did in Family Guy. He was like, oh, he's cool just like us. And he was chill, and, he kind of spoke with a bit of slang. People were like, but none of us bought it. We're like, alright, dude. And he was just like, hey, like, difference between... I don't know why I remember this. I think probably because it's so ridiculous. He's like, oh, the difference between like an eagle and pigeons? And, like, he also did, like, it was very much like, oh, like, what white people think how rappers were in the 90s, which were like... Exactly. Where they're like, yo, and they talk like this, and that kind of shit. It was, like, quite embarrassing, because I think I was like 17 or 18, and we were all like, yo, this is not happening. Anyway, the guy's like, difference between eagles and pigeons: eagles, they soar up high, and they by themselves. Pigeons, they're always on the ground, and they're with other people. And we're like, and I remember, like, being in lunchtime, just like laughing about that. Like, we get it, like, be yourself, don't follow the crowd, but really, man, anyway. But anyway, that aside, for a music biopic, for a music biopic, they did really well. Obviously because, the the guys had a say in it. Obviously, Dr. Dre had a say in it, Ice Cube, yada yada. They all had a say in it, so obviously, one, duh, they were able to use their music. Two, the casting was well. F. Gary Gray did a great job. Like, yeah, you like that was blah, that was done really well, and they when they show the characters, like when they show like the characters, it was like quick little like title card. It was like Eric Wright. I almost said Edgar Wright. Eric Wright brackets Easy E, that kind of stuff, and he did that like Andre Young, Dr. Dre, that kind of shit. And then of course like they'll be somewhere and it'll be like 1990 blah blah blah. And also because again a lot of movie biopic stuff, like I still haven't watched it yet, but I'm planning on trying to like watch it because I know a lot of people are disappointed, like the Aaliyah story, where I heard that they couldn't even get rights to the music or even any of like anything like that. So it's like you'll see, it's like, oh, she's performing something, like she gets up on stage. Anyway, cut to like that's what a lot of people told me, and I from obviously from what I saw like online, like the night it aired and all that stuff, and people were saying like this is a disgrace, yada yada, and I feel like it kind of is, because it's like again like with this one, like again besides it being Ice Cube's son, Ice Cube looks like Ice Cube, Dre looks like Dre, Easy looks like freaking him. They even had a guy as Tupac, and he had like he had that kind of like lighter like colored skin. His like head was like that like almond shape that he had with his chin kind of pointy at the end kind of stuff. Like he looked like him. The guy who was like freaking Snoop was very tall and skinny. Like they did that really well. And again, a comparison to what I saw. Picture like via pictures of what like in a sense that Aaliyah story again I know this is like a major motion picture and that one was like TV movie and all this stuff, but still like we're talking about that kind of stuff. Like those people like it doesn't even match. Like you wouldn't have even guessed, like at least with Straight Outta Compton, like you kind of like again like how they dress, how their mannerisms, you're like, oh, you immediately knew like, oh, that was freaking Easy right there, and then bam, title card, you're like, good, like I got it, and then I think like another like biopic that I know like Paul definitely was very like not cool with, which was the Notorious one, like I wasn't a bit like I felt like the guy who played Biggie in that one, like I felt like they just casted like a big guy. Like he didn't have like the essence of him. Like not much. It wasn't much of like the mannerisms. It was just like all right, And like Anthony Mackie. Yeah, I thought I said a different name. Anthony Mackie was in it as Tupac, which is so weird to think of Anthony Mackie as Tupac. Whoa. Speaking of, because it's Tupac. So there's like a part in Straight Outta Compton where like this guy comes out and he's a pretty big dude, shaved head, just beard, and I immediately was like, is that Suge Knight? And then you hear one of them go like, what's up, Suge? And I was like, oh. And they were definitely can't make the camera shake, slapping my hand on the table. They were definitely like, they did not go easy on that. They definitely showed how much of a loose cannon that man is, and it was just scary, like how like the prevalence of the guns and the violence and all that stuff with him, they were not shy about that. They're like, yo, he crazy. That it was very sad. Like obviously like we all know like Easy died of like HIV and all that stuff, but like just the way how like that part like not that I was waiting for it, but it's like that's a major part of like their lives and stuff. So all I kept thinking was just kind of like, how are they gonna drop that that bomb on it? That like, does he just like pull like the room kind of thing? Like anyway, turns out it is HIV, and you never talk about it again. But this one, like they show signs that he's starting to get sick. He's like coughing a lot. He's just thinking he's like has like a respiratory infection. Yada yada. The scene where he like conked out, like a lot of times in movies where like they show someone and they like pass out and the camera follows them and all that stuff, and you're just like, oh, okay. But this one, like, because he falls backwards and hits a keyboard, and, like, I actually I winced. Like, I actually, like, felt, like, that hit. It's kind of like there was, like, this one scene in, like, Orphan Black where, like, they drugged one of the guys, and he, like, falls forward on, like, a coffee table, and you're like, ah! yeah. It's like, you know, you actually like feel it, and then you kind of feel bad for the stunt person too, you know. But they show that, and then they talk about him having HIV, and also like in this movie they show like actual news footage of it. So you'll have like Tom Brokaw being like, you know, the rap group NWA, you know, like all that stuff, and you're like, oh shit, you know. They show like the actual news report of like Eazy's like lawyer talking about him being hospitalized and how, you know, they're trying to make him comfortable. And that part, like, because them showing the real footage, it obviously it got real, and it got like very like upsetting, obviously, because you knew it was gonna happen. It was just, it was quite sad, obviously. It was very, very sad, and actually it was like at that point, but I think at the time that Eazy had passed, I don't think, like, I was very young, and so I think when I really acknowledged NWA, like, I already saw him as not being there anymore. Like, he was in the videos, obviously, because I was like early, you know, early, late 80s, early 90s. But, you know, like, had already passed, and you'd see him, like, you know, in the videos and stuff. But it was like, that was it. Like, when there was interviews, obviously, he wasn't being there. Wow. He wasn't there. So, but, like, actually seeing, like, the news footage and all that stuff, like, stuff I don't recall seeing, it was just like, oh, man. Like, you had to, like, relive that. It was, you know, obviously it was, like, you know, quite a powerful part in the movie, which was like around like the third act and all that stuff, and it was like I said, it was done really well. Like the guys all the guys acting as, you know, the rappers were amazing. Like I said, they got their mannerisms, they got everything, you know, and it was very nostalgic because, you know, you have Dre playing songs from the Chronic, and that's like, you know, very like big album, you know, like you can still play the Chronic today and it's fucking amazing, you know, like it's a fucking good as like it's fucking Dre. You see how like he works, like how he's like very involved in music, yada yada, all that stuff. Like it's really good. You see them like going on their solo thing, and when I think it was in Detroit, you know, when they were told like, hey, don't perform "Fuck the Police," us police people are offended by it, you know, and they were just like, no, we're gonna perform it, like, fuck you. And also, like, especially now, like, as a social commentary kind of stuff, like, I feel like with this movie coming out, I feel like around this time, like, in a way, something like this needed, you know, to have come out, like, that kind of shit, because of current events and all that shit with police and whatever not. And you in this movie, you see them just like Ice Cube is coming out of the house and the cops just stop him, slam him against the hood just to check his pockets. Like, oh, you don't have dope. He's like, dude, I don't sling dope. Like, just because I live in this neighborhood and I'm like, you know, like that, you know, like, oh, fuck you, you know. And it's sad, you know, that like, you know, 20 plus years later, it's still happening, you know, like, especially like being in New York City, like, it happens a lot. Like, it's really, really fucking awful. Like, man, like, it was just like the early 90s nostalgia comes back, so you're just like enjoying the music, but then the harsh reality hits you in the face, and then you realizing, one, how old you are, and two, how long, like, the time difference, and how it's still like, you know, like, they're still blaming rap music on things, they're still blaming things on metal music. Yeah, and I remember, like, when this movie came out, like, you know, again, to be political, all the conservatives were just like, oh, we gotta put, like, extra security in the movies because Outta Compton's coming out and there might be another, like, movie shooting. And it's like, no, it has nothing fucking to do with that, you know? But anyway, about the movie, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I really, really did. Like I said, it gave me, like, nostalgia of when I really, really loved, like, you know, rap and hip-hop. It was definitely those times. Like, now I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm not a big fan of, like, what's coming out now. But yeah, like, it's so late for me to be like, go see Outta Compton by now. I bet you, like, everyone's seen it. Like, but yeah, man, god damn, what a good-ass fucking movie. Yeah, and, oh, fuck, I almost forgot to mention, so, like, about the harsh reality part, so of course they're talking about, like I said, the Rodney King beating and all that stuff. So of course they're talking about when the LA riots happened, and then like, and they showed like this part was a really kind of quick kind of montagey part, but it's enough. Again, powerful enough. Like they did well enough to show, like they showed enough to get their message across without having to, like, you know, beat it over your face. So they're showing, like, of course, like, the Rodney King thing, the riots happen, and you show, like, they see, like, majority of, like, the Asian, like, shop owners, like defending their shops with guns and all that stuff, and the whole injustice kind of stuff. Anyway, so you show that, and then the really powerful thing, and I remember I screen capped this from the trailer because it was in the trailer, and I remember, whoops, no, I didn't want to go on YouTube. Was there's a part where, like, it's a bit in slow motion, and you see, like, and you see, like, you know, the cops in riot gear, there's fire, and then you see a member of the Bloods and a member of the Crips, and they have tied their, like, bandanas together, you know, to form solidarity. And that, like, that says a lot, because like, a year ago, when Ferguson thing happened, there was, like, pictures of, like, Bloods and Crip members, like, protecting, like, a shop so no one loots it. Like, that says a lot, you know? Like, I feel like this is such a, like, excuse me, it's, like, such a beautiful shot. Like, I got that from the trailer. Like, that says a lot, you know? I saw that, I was like, holy fuck, you know? Like, like I said, it says a lot. Like I said, I really enjoyed, like, especially for, like, a music biopic, that kind of stuff. Like, usually those get kind of cheesy, and it might show some of the bad stuff, but it's usually, like, fluffed up. But here, like, they showed, like, their struggle of, one, like, you know, wanting to get into, like, the music business, and while they're in the music business, and, like, the shit that they had to deal with, and their contracts, and, like, being a group, and then going solo, and then, like, yada yada, and then losing E, and, like, you know, like, life, and all that stuff, you know, because a lot of things, like, I remember for a while, like, VH1 did a lot of, like, movie biopics for, like, Def Leppard, and all that stuff, but also the movie ends with, like, showing, like the where are they now kind of thing. So all of a sudden they're like Beats by Dre, the most, like, they bought up on Apple, the biggest blah 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 blah, 3 point blah 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 bajillion dollars. You know, like Ice Cube, you see him, like, you know, like, they quickly mention it in the movie about him doing Boys in the Hood and, like, Friday and all that stuff. But then they obviously show it, you're like, yeah, I'm getting his movie career, and then, you know, you show, like, Snoop saying, like, you know, without Dre, wouldn't have been such a good lyricist, and then you show, like, Eminem, like, thanking Dre, and you see 50 Cent thanking Dre, you know, all that stuff. Like, they even show a bit of, like, old, like, obviously old, like, interviews with, like, Tupac, and about how, you know, he's, like, him getting to collaborate with Dre, like, a lot of that stuff, and, like, all, like, this shit, like, but yeah, like, I really enjoyed this movie. I kind of wish I saw it, like, you know, last month when it came out, like, you know, a little bit earlier and all that stuff, but, yeah, I don't know how long I've been rambling on, but, straight Outta Compton, reviewed by very Asian person, alright.